A wedding explosion in New Amsterdam season 5 episode 3 sends the wedding party and guests to the hospital. The bridegroom need a blood transfusion, but he has an uncommon blood type. To save the groom's life, Elizabeth and Max must collaborate and race against time. When the bridal party and guests pour through the ER's doors, Max is overcome with emotion. An oddly injured pair is being treated by Floyd and Lauren. Despite having no obvious wounds, the flower girl has entered a catatonic state to protect herself from what she saw. She is still wearing her flower girl dress. Iggy starts the process of persuading the flower girl to speak after realizing that she is the key to uncovering the truth about what actually transpired. The third episode of New Amsterdam opens with Floyd meeting with his family and stating that he believes his father's recent behavior may have been caused by bipolar disorder. He continues by saying that the psychology chair expressed his viewpoint. His mother corrects him and, becoming irate, claims that his father left them because he didn't love them deeply enough. His sister said she doubted he could surpass having a child in a trio. Vanessa gets upset when she sees Lauren tidying up the flat because Lauren is her sister. Lauren suggests that she stay there for a month, but her sister objects until Lauren agrees to cover the rent. The ER is receiving bodies from a wedding. The groom has a severe bleed that won't stop until Max arrives in the emergency hospital to assist. To save him, they need Lutheran B negative, but they don't have any. Iggy goes to check on a young girl named Lily from the wedding who is in a trance but has no obvious wounds. All hell broke loose when there was an explosion during the wedding vows. Screaming and fleeing broke out in all directions. Floyd wonders if one of the men could have been shot because he appears to have a gunshot hole in his back. He was not shot after all, as evidenced by the presence of his wife's shoe heel on his back. Lily is with Iggy, but she just stares out into space without saying anything. He tries to persuade her to talk, but all she does is repeat his words. Iggy goes outside and informs her mother that she needs to check herself into the behavioral health ward because of trauma. Blood was discovered for the groom, but it might not arrive in time. To obtain the donor, they fly to Bermuda instead. Elizabeth must use some ingenuity, but she manages to obtain the donor's address. She is traveling with Max. Iggy is with Lily's mother and informs her that Lily is taking medication to break her out of her canonic state. She claims that once the fire was sparked at the wedding, everything became chaotic. Lily suddenly begins to cry out in pain. When Max and Elizabeth visit the donor, they are unable to get them to comply. Lily is awake and with Iggy. He uses dolls to attempt to replicate the wedding. Lily inquires about Iggy, her husband, yet she is only a young child. A child wedding was about to take place when Max receives a call from the groom, the man they had been flying to save. Arriving at the airport, the donor expresses her desire to assist. The crew is in a terrible mood since they have treated killers before, but it never felt this bad. This was supported by all the wedding-related patients they saw. Iggy claims that Lily's 15-year-old elder brother used a smoke bomb in an effort to save his sister. According to Iggy, there is no legislation against this form of union, and no one will be held accountable. Lily, that is all. Iggy, who is devastated over Lily, stops by to visit the kids. When Lauren visits her sister at her apartment, the sister apologizes and expresses her appreciation for her efforts to make amends. Floyd visits his father and informs him that he has likely been dealing with bipolar disorder for the most of his life. He assures him that none of what he did was his fault. He wants him to check himself into the hospital so they can examine his options for therapy. He says everything he did was not his fault, so all he wants is his mother to apologize. He doesn't want to do it. When Max asks Elizabeth if they made the correct decision, she responds that their mission is to save lives, not to pass judgment. She instructs him to see Luna at home. He does, and he rests next to her bed on the floor.